uncut and unedited. We got Chicago flip red. Flipping Chicago red on here tonight, and we got to hear what they. I'm gonna say they because she represents the organization. She started it, and Miss Zoe. So what I'm gonna do, people? I'm just co-hosting. I'm the referee tonight. I'm the sergeant at arms, so I got to make sure. I said, don't be cussing folks out on here now. I love my people now; they support me now. But we got listen. I love the truth even more, Zoe. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
truth,
well,
fact.
you're right. And my thing is,
Hold on,
everybody going
hold on, Zoe. I got to make some adjustments. I see something now. The sound,
okay.
I see right now. They ain't gonna be able to hear you. I forgot to do something. I'm slow. Y'all know I'm doing this all by myself. Hold on, hold on. All right, now that's better. There we go. There we go. Now, can you hear me better, Zoe?
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I want to get you right there, right there. So go ahead. Let's start over. Now we got Chicago Flip Red right here, Zoe. She started it, and I got on tonight. This is one of the persons that you see at City Hall that's giving the mayor the blues. With the truth now. With the truth now. So she ain't no punk. So I'm asking you guys to listen to what she got to say. Respect her. I asked her to respect you at the same too. I said, please don't cuss my people out. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get started. We ain't gonna waste no time. So while I'm the co-host tonight. You the host. So
Right.
what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna text some people some call in numbers. Let me put up the call in number too, but you started. Come on with it.
Well, let me introduce who I am. My
Yeah,
name
yes,
is
yes.
Zoe Marsh Lee, but Zoe Lee. I'm originally from Albany, New York, but my father was born in Virginia, and my mother was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, and she left here in 1978. She moved to Long Island, and then where I'm from, upstate. And then once my father passed away, she moved back to Chicago. I moved to Chicago in 2012 or 2013. I went to Second City, and then I started working with Dick Gregory. So a lot of stuff that anybody saw Dick Gregory from 2013 until 2017. That was me on the road with him, including the Breakfast Club as well. That's how I got my relationship with Charlemagne. My mother was fighting um, the city. The city had unlawfully demolished a family's business. My godfather's Leroy Singleton, the Singleton brothers that own Sandpiper Lounge, and my mother was helping him to save it because the city was already working on stealing it for the TIF money, the tax increment financing money. And once taxes, and my mother put it in a nonprofit. And once my mother started asking for the TIF money again, to build their affordable housing, the city of Chicago down, saying that it was building violations, but we're currently in federal court. And in federal court, the city of Chicago Law Department is trying to argue that um, they had no acknowledgement that my godfather or my mother owned the building, even though the city of Chicago sent letters to the trust in my godfather's name and my mother's name. So right now we're waiting on the city to rule, and because the city is so corrupt and they have the judicial system on payroll, I had no fight the city. And unfortunately, this did not happen under Mayor Brandon Johnson. It happened actually under Rahm Emanuel. And if I had a good alderman who was David Moore was supposed to offer us some type of compensation because every alderman gets $1.5 million for their ward. So they are supposed to fix the roads or little lawsuits like knocking people buildings down, which they always do in our community. They're supposed to offer us something and then go to the Committee on Finance, and they could pay us out. So at that time it was Ed Burke. Right now it's Pat Dow. And he didn't do that. So it really falls on David Moore. However, when I started going down there and I started realizing that I protested outside for 17 weeks, then Miss Jessica and George Blakemore convinced me to come inside and let me talk on the mic. And I did. I have a clothing brand. So my brand is called Uncomfortable Truth Lifestyle. So a lot of my stuff that I was wearing was inappropriate for City Hall, but I did not realize that I was going to still be fighting this fight now 3 years later. But when I went there and I was getting ignored, I've never ever been ignored. Like if like when I say if I have a lawsuit and I have all the evidence, I'm used to people settling. I've sued Famous Dave's. I've sued Delta Airlines, and these are $1 billion. I mean, Delta Airlines is $1 billion company, so I just knew that, like, okay, well, with the government, they have unlimited money, and it was their fault. We have all the evidence to show it, and for them to keep ignoring me, I finally told Brandon Johnson and Tony Preckwinkle in this small little boardroom at Daily Center. I was like, look, I was in Georgia when they flipped blue for the first time. I was like, I will flip this city red because this is the worst customer service I've ever had in my life. It didn't have anything to do with a party. It didn't have anything to do with the color of anybody's skin. It had to do with how corrupt this city is and how these people think that they're untouchable and they can continue to knock down our properties in our community. They continue to normalize it. They use the police and say that they can do it by police powers, which you cannot. If you don't have a court order, you cannot do it. And it was a game. Like Dick Gregory used to always tell me, like, baby, this is a game. This is a game. And I didn't really understand until I got into the game. And that's basically my mindset when it comes to politics. I feel like as an elected official, you need to be a public servant. Um, and who we have in office, none of them are public servants. Um, we have a stealing problem in in our community, um, in the Democratic Party, in the system. And they say, well, the Republicans steal too. But look at their communities compared to ours. You know what I'm saying? Like we done stole so much that we're down to a we don't even have like slides. We don't have swings. We don't have anything. The violence is at an all-time high. The fact that um, you're dealing with water issues from flooding when FEMA done gave so much money. You're dealing with CHA stealing housing and stealing land. You've got these realtors and developers. You've got these terrible priests and pastors. You have these NGOs. It's just one big clique, one big clique, and it's only for their people. And if you're not in a divine nine, I shouldn't have to pledge in order to get some help. Um, if I don't go to a mega church, if I'm not clicked up with a certain nonprofit, I'm just out here. If I didn't go to HBCU, I'm just out here. If I didn't go to a certain law school, you only go to UIC, Notre Dame, then DePaul, and University of Chicago, and then was it Northwestern, Pritzker Law, whatever. Then you can't get a job, and so because you have to because they're taking an oath to this system. So I built Chicago Flip Red to take down, it really was the old machine, but they're dying out. The Tony Preckwinkle, the Madigan, Daly done sold his place, done went somewhere, all that. But now you're dealing with the Democratic Socialists of America. And the and I need us to understand what the Democratic Socialists of America. These are not the JFK Democrats. These are not, the Lyndon B. Johnson, the Martin Luther, like what I mean, Dr. Martin Luther, he was Republican, but these are not the Democrats that you think that was when after affirmative action or whatever you want to say, the Civil Rights Act. No, these are not. These are socialists. These are communists, and they are trying to push something that will never happen in this country, which is socialism. So what the reason why Chicago needs to flip red, in my opinion, because we have gotten so comfortable with being hurt. Like we have normalized trauma in our communities. And I've never dealt with it. I've never dealt with shootings. I've never dealt with drugs. I've never dealt with hearing gunshots. None of my friends have never been lost to gun violence or anything like that. I grew up in the suburbs. So, and I know that we don't have to deal with that. And I know that our communities do not have to deal with that. And somebody has to start acknowledging it and start confronting the problem. And the problem is these cliques, these elected officials, these
Mhm.
officials that we dealing with one big DEI. Like people get mad that Trump got rid of DEI, but it had to be done because there's nobody that's who are qualified in this budget that we're about to talk about. He's getting rid of them. He's getting rid of every oversight, all the people that are in the that are oversight, that oversee things like, for instance, in procurement services, there is a contract that was $9 million over budget.
Mhm.
And if the oversight people would have saw that, because we're we're $1.2 billion in a deficit, they would have been like, nah, we can't afford that. We got to rebid and find somebody else that's willing to deal with that. So because of that, he's getting rid of all of these jobs if the 2026 budget passes, but he will scream that he is for the working class. He is for the working families. You're about to get rid of 505 jobs, but everybody in your administration that you have appointed are getting these crazy raises. We can start with Michael J. McMurray from aviation. He just started May 5th, 2025. He's about to get a $58,000 raise. Now you can look this up. You can go to
Mhm.
shycityclerk.com and you can download this budget and uh you can look at all the departments and you can start with the salaries. Then you can look down and see the commissioners, what the commissioners made in 2025, what they made
Mhm.
in 2024, and what their recommendation is for now if this city budget passes. We're about to pay $629 million in personnel for his friends. We're about to pass $552 million to CPS with TIF money. The TIF money is supposed to be for our communities, but he's trying to push $552 million into CPS when CPS needs to be audited themselves. You just saw all them vacations that they was taking. Like we talk about the police brutality and the misconduct and how much we paying out for that, but we don't discuss all the sexual abuse cases that we're paying out, but nobody can't talk about them because they minors. That's why the Epstein file is taking so long because they were minors. So by law, you cannot actually put that out there like that. So it's not really about who did it. It's about the kid. It's about the people it's about the kids because they were underage. The same thing that we're dealing with now with CPS. So we need we need a forensic financial audit. And until we get that, we will forever be in the hole, and no mayor will be able to ever get us out of the hole because this system is corrupt. This system is corrupt. The policies in this city, these blue policies, are corrupt,
Mm-hmm.
and and we're paying right now for this migrant crisis that people act like, especially black people, act like they forgot because ICE came here.
Mm-hmm.
ICE needed to come here. ICE
Hey,
needs to come back to come get these people because I think they'll be okay now after they see their property taxes.
Zoe, I have a quick question for you. I
Yes.
got Mama Doris want to say something real quick, and it's
Oh
okay
yes,
with
I
you.
love you, Mama Dora.
Okay, okay, Mama Doris, go ahead. I ain't want to cut your
Uh,
momentum off,
good
but you can
evening.
go. Good evening. Go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, Zoe. I just
Mama
want
Dora.
to say I am so proud of you. Chicago Flips Red is doing a phenomenal job. What I like about what they have done is the fact that they are bringing information to us. And I mean a lot of information. Zoe has been doing a lot of research. She and Sister Jessica, what they have brought to our attention has not been brought to our attention like that. We've been talking about these politicians, but we have not had anyone to bring out facts and information and the corruption and all of the stuff that they're doing down there in City Hall. So I want to thank Zoe. I want to thank her for the concept for organizing Chicago Flips Red. I want to thank Danny. I want to thank Jessica because they are on it. They are on it. Chicago, I don't know what else they can do. I don't know what else we need in order to get up off our behinds and do something about our condition here in Chicago and these corrupt politicians, ministers and organizations, all corrupt, not doing anything for the people. And that's what I like again about what they're doing. They are for the people. So get up off your behinds and get involved. Do something. Stop talking. You have these telephones. You can text. You can do whatever you want to on these devices. But we're not using them in a productive way. Get behind Chicago Flips Red. Look at what these women have done. I've been out there a little, but I haven't done nearly as much as they're doing. They have done, but I support them. And another thing, let's support them financially. We can donate to their organization so they can remain independent. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get out there and do what they're doing constantly. I just can't do any as much as I used to physically.
You do
I'm still
enough.
going to
You
do
do
so.
enough.
Yeah, but you don't know how much I want to be out there with you all. But I'm going to make a donation. Give your the site where we can make a donation. I'm going to go on tonight and do it. And so I'm asking Chicago, all if you know about Chicago Flips Red, all of over Chicago and all over the country because they have gotten the attention of people all over the country. So donate to this organization. We have got to get in the mindset of financing our people when they put their necks on the line. So let's support them not with our dollars and cents, and let's get behind them in whatever they're doing. Zoe has done a phenomenal job with this budget. With this budget, these crooks, these thieves, these gangsters, these rotten dogs down there in that city council, messing over black people every day. This tax bill is out of control. It's some serious stuff going on in this city, and it's going to impact us the most, as it usually does. So let's get involved. Let's support her. Let's support Jessica, Danny. Let's just support the cause. This is a movement. This is a movement. And so let's support it. Again, Zoe, I am so proud of you. Thank you so much. Don't become discouraged. Stay the course. Stay focused. okay? And give out the site so we can go on and donate. Thank you, Martin, for having her
No,
on.
no problem. No problem. Zoe, I want you to go deep into the budget. I got
Okay.
another guest that want to come in, and that's. But I need you to go into the budget first. So we want to accomplish what we talked about, that budget. Then
Yeah.
after that, I'm going to bring him in, and we'll talk. We're working from there. So go ahead. But
Okay.
also, I have a question. Jessica sent me a question. Let me see what it is. She wants to know. Jessica, that's my pal behind the scene. She said, she told me, get back to the show. I'm back to the show now. All right. Ask her how much did Chicago spend on the illegal immigrants? So that's
Uh,
okay.
2.2 billion dollars, and probably more now. But I stopped at $2.2 billion, and that was 4 months before the election, the presidential election. That's
Okay.
what made me, and people ask me, that's what made me vote for Donald Trump. It was no way. It was no way that anybody that had common sense would vote for her. Like this, like in a blue city. I mean, in a blue city, in a blue city, blue state. And then I feel like at the state of where we were, like me and Miss Jessica, like we were fighting for property, but they spent $2.2 billion. We watched them spend 2.2 billion. Once they stopped, once I realized that they weren't going to settle my case, I started staying at all the meetings from 10 o'clock until sometimes me and Miss Jessica be down there till 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. And I just would start watching them launder this money. We went to every committee meeting. We went from to immigration and refugee rights. We went to housing, human relations, finance, public transport, public ways, all the city council meetings, environment. I mean, they had in every meeting, they had like a itemized line for illegals or black and brown.
Okay. Okay. Jessica. She's my right hand right here.
Yes.
So she running the show behind the scenes, even up the calls.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good. That's
Okay.
good. I need
Okay.
that. She
Okay.
knows
Okay.
I'm.
Okay. Cool. I want to real quick. I got a question for myself. Now, I'm a registered Democrat, but I did vote for Trump. I did say that. The question I want to ask you, let me quit looking at the phone because it's throwing me off. Now, do you think, in your own words, by talking to Mama Doris and Jessica and all that, the Democrats are the old Democrats as of in the back in the day, or they're different? You
Well,
think?
these Democrats is socialists. This
Okay.
is this is this is their this is so we're living in socialism. Socialism and communism right here in America with this administration. This administration for sure. I always blame Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders is the one who got like AOC going with this and the oligarchy and all that stuff. But we're dealing with these are nowhere near the Democrats in like Mama Dora's Democrat. Now these are Nazis.
Oh, okay. All right. Now Jessica said, let her give the raises next. Then I'm gonna bring in Jamal Green. Jamal Green want to come in. You want to come in the screen. Go ahead. Give us the raises. Go ahead.
So again, I said Michael J. McMurray. He's getting a $58,000 raise. He is the commissioner of aviation, and he started May 5th of 2025. Now, mind you, we're still in 2025. Okay. He will get that if the budget passes. We have Chris Brown, who is the commissioner of the public library. He receives a $6,000 raise. But the reason why I'm saying him the $6,000 raise is because they are laying off over 100 jobs in the library, which is crazy because
Mm.
our mayor is a social studies teacher, and you would think out of all of the places to get rid of people, you would not think the public library. Then you have Nick Lucius, who is the department. He's a commissioner of the Department of Technology and Innovation. He receives a $15,000 raise. We have Nancy uh, Andrada. She receives a $26,000 raise. She is in the Department of Human and Relations. We have Tierra Hughes. She is a deputy commissioner of Department of Planning. She receives a $22,000 raise. Now, the deputy of the was it development, property, and planning. Um, is Sierra Boatwright, which is her boss. She is only set to receive a $6,000 raise. Randy Connor, who is Department of Water, he's set to get a $16,000 raise. Cole Stallard, Department of Streets and Sanitation, he's set to get a $16,000 raise. Michael D. Bolesky, he's the comptroller. He's been in there since June of 2025 because the first comptroller walked off, Chase. He was set to receive a $19,000 raise. Angela Tover, she's the Department of Environment. She's set to get a $30,000 raise. Susan Capello, she's the Animal Rights and Control. She's set to get a $13,000 raise. Corporate Counsel,
Mm,
Mary Richardson Laurie, she's set to get a $21,000 raise. And Marlene Hopkins, who is a Department of Buildings Commissioner, she's set to get an $18,000 raise.
mm, I got a couple of questions to ask you as well. This is not coming from Mama Jessica. It's Taylor. Ask her to explain the corporate head tax that Brandon Johnson wants to pass.
So the corporate head tax is a tax that he wants to tax all businesses or corporations that at the time it was full. Then I think it went to 200, and then last time I saw something about 500. But he wants to tax $21. Then I just saw $33. Um, a person. And I oppose that, A, because I'm an entrepreneur and I aspire to have my own corporation. And B, how are you, if I'm not taking any government funded money and I'm funding this all myself with my corporation, how are you going to tell me what I got to pay when I have workers I have to pay?
Mm,
So that doesn't make any sense to me because I'm already taking care of my workers. I got to make sure my workers have everything. So I got to pay you because you guys don't know how to make money. The Democratic Party, y'all don't know how to make money. So I got to tax. So y'all gonna tax me while I still got to figure out where I'm gonna get this $21 tax. I mean, this $21 from because I got too many employees.
now that goes to my next question. So it said, why is he talking about Brandon Johnson? Why is he saying tax the rich or tax the residents?
Because he doesn't want to acknowledge that they spent $2.2 billion on migrants. He doesn't also want to talk about in November 2023 when me, Mama Doris, Miss Jessica was down there in City Hall and they did not give us a choice to vote on if we still wanted this city to be a sanctuary city or not because he felt some type of way because everybody voted against Bring Home Chicago. That was another reason why he made sure to make sure that didn't go on the ballot so we can make a choice that we didn't want this to be a sanctuary city. So he violated our rights. On top of now the property taxes is going up. We're not bringing no money in because he can't since he's been in here, he hasn't brought any money into the city. And he does not want to acknowledge that we're paying for these illegals.
Mm, mm, mm. But I'm gonna go to my people in the chat. Let's try to get a couple of questions from them. Do you all know that CPS is giving the children of the immigrants a unlimited amount of absent days, and our children can't miss over 10 days?
Yeah, they're protecting them because of ICE. Danielle just sent me something a couple of days ago. Brian Cicho Lopez, he basically is proposing that we pay the state and the city figure out a way how to pay for illegals that are scared to come out their house to go to work rent until Trump gets out of office.
Mm, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
That is. I have
Oh
another
my God.
another question. What cuts should we make so we don't have to raise taxes? I'm saying in Chicago right here. What do you think? Y-
Well, you need them raises. Nobody should get a raise.
Okay, I agree with
Yeah.
that
Okay.
100%.
Yes. No one, including us. So you shouldn't get a raise for that. Also, he cut 505 jobs, but they were not jobs that were vacant. These were real people jobs. We have a lot of jobs to cut that are vacant. You can start there. Like we spent $3.2 million on Ernest and Young to come in and find efficiencies, but they found nothing because they didn't go look for anything. So that's one of the things. And then if we get a forensic audit, then you really can see what else we need to cut. And it probably will be we probably would not be in the red.
Okay. Great, great. Let me see. Let me see if I. All right. Now, the question I want to ask now, y'all know I voted for Brandon Johnson. It's no secret; it's out there. I pushed for him like on this same podcast for like 20, 38, 20, about 20 to 30 days straight. I pushed, and I am definitely disappointed in Brandon Johnson. I don't. My thing is with him, it's like he don't stand up. Maybe I was had too much high standard for him for not make no excuse for him like being Harold Washington somebody. I thought he could be great. Yeah, I thought he could be great. But to me, it's just and I do vote on identity politics, but I'm learning to back up. I mean, I got see one thing about this show, we tell the truth and shame the devil. So the host can miss. I can even admit my faults, and I want better for Chicago. But tell me a little bit about this before we bring the next guest on too. I think Jessica was telling me about they've come out. I think the Latinos come out with a new thing about. No, was that somebody tell me about they got something going for them? Maybe it's a housing or something, some type of protection. Let me text this person to find out exactly what it is.
Oh, the great law.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Or the prisoner just signed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it really is nothing, but basically, um, the Illinois attorneys coalition put some money together to help sue any ICE agents, any hospitals, any daycares, any of these type of places that will let ICE come in and get any illegals, and they will. Well, it's not even it's of the ICE agents, and of the but the safe areas are hospitals, the daycare, certain places like that. But if an ICE agent comes in there, they have the right to sue the ICE agent up to $10,000 um each time.
Mm,
So it's basically protecting them. It's the new voters. I mean, I want everybody to understand that when especially black people, when you guys are talking about that what the ICE agents are doing are wrong and they're tearing up kids and families. I just want y'all to just think about the 94 crime bill. I
mm,
want y'all to think about
mm,
mass incarceration. I
mm,
want y'all to think about COVID when they wouldn't even let you go see your grandmother, knowing that she's about to die and put her on that tube. So I
mm,
mean, but when it comes to these people, I mean, they going all out and they're showing you with our tax dollar. That is why I approve Donald Trump not to send another dollar here, because it's exposing what a lot of people already knew, but it's really out here to the point that black people you see it. You see it. It ain't nothing else. You see it.
mm-hmm.
So
Wow. Now, for those that came in late, real quick, Tell us a little bit about Flip Red, and I want you to tell us because I don't want to start no confusion on here. Now,
Yes.
there's a difference between Chicago Red and Flip Red. Explain the difference. That's all. Without throwing no shade, and now we're not trying to get into a battle, but
Oh
let's
yeah,
just,
I don't
okay,
have
okay,
anything. You know,
okay.
it's Chicago Fist Red is a conservative movement.
Mm,
And it consists of that fights corruption,
mhm,
and that's here to change the mindset of our people to get us off of to understand that you can be independent. And I independently align myself with the Republican Party because the Democratic Party had my mother messed up, but also the policies is messed up, and that's the party of immigration. That's they don't they don't care about us. The party of immigration and LGBTQ identity politics. They don't care about the seniors. They don't care about the man. They definitely don't care about the black man.
mhm.
And they don't care about families. They don't care about mental health because you're dealing with liberal bums. So our group is consists of myself, Danielle Carter. Our advisor is Jessica Jackson. And we have seven other core members as well. A lot of people only see me, Miss Jessica, and Danielle, but we do have other members as well. And we started in 2025, in October 9th, 2025. We went viral. And it of not getting any help from for the Democrats in Chicago. For me, I went up to the top. I went to Biden. I went to Kamala when they were in office. I went to our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. I also went to the federal Attorney General Merrick Garland. So my thing was I was just not satisfied. Customer service is a big thing for me, and the Democratic Party showed us that they do not care about us, and they also realized that the voter base, either the couch vote was getting larger, and then
Mhm.
a lot of other conservatives people were moving on to the Republican Party. So that's why they moved all these people in and really gave us their butt to kiss.
Okay, we're going to take a couple of callers. I want to ask all my callers, please be
Oh.
respectful. Also, I asked Zoe, Zoe rough now, y'all. She ain't no punk, man. I said, Zoe, now, I love my people. Now, we got Democrats and Republicans on here, and we all in one space, and we try to get along. We try to get along. All right. I just had somebody just called in. I'm going to give them a minute to come on in. And I appreciate you for coming on here, spare the moment, Zoe. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on spare a moment. So I'm waiting on this another call. I got a call in. Let's see who they are.
This is Dr. Rosita Chitanda. Has joined.
Okay, we got a doctor on here. Okay, 7183. Come on, my dear sister. 7183.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
No problem.
First of all, I want to say to Zoe and Chicago Flip Thread, I mean, when we had the issue with our educators, Zoe came to me wanting to know what was happening in education. We did a several hour video because she's about learning and wanting to know the truth. So I applaud. I'm very proud of what you're doing and how you're standing up. And as Mama Doris said before, we will be supporting you. I'm just in federal court fighting these demonic people at CPS by myself. So it's really a lot on me, and I'm trying to win this lawsuit so that our Black educators can get justice. Now, I know, Martin, you said you pushed for Brandon Johnson. I tried to tell everyone because I work with these people. And I knew them, and I knew they didn't have a Black agenda. I knew everything that is happening, and it's going to get worse. I knew it was going to happen because what you guys got to realize is that this is a mayor that was at a union that gave up the rights and got 8 to 9,000 Black teachers fired and wouldn't do anything to help them. I just wonder how the Black community can think an organization that does this to Black educators with masters and PhDs, put them out on the street. I have been to 5 or 6 funerals. My friends have lost their homes. They've had to bring their children back from college. It has been horrific. And then our community went out. I said, they're going to go out and put these horrible people and give them power over our city. Of course, some things are karma. And the teachers told the Black community, they do not, the CTU is ran by a bunch of racist white liberals. And they have put Black people out there in front because they think we're stupid. And we have been stupid. And we let these people fool us into putting someone in there that is just everything that comes out of Johnson's mouth. I heard it from Jackson Potter. I started with them years ago. All that liberal stuff, what they're doing now, they're running around talking about, the tax the rich. They've been talking about that for 20 years since I first met them. And so, what has that done for the Black community? Absolutely nothing. The agenda for the Democratic Party, even at the union, the minority of choice for them has always been the Hispanics. And they have put Black people on the back burner. We have people who lost, you talk about losing their homes. These people were contributing members of our Black community, 14,000 fired. 8 to 9,000 under Brandon Johnson, Karen Lewis, when Karen took her no good butt down to Springfield and signed away. I told Karen, she signed away these teachers' rights in seniority rights. So when they were supposed to stay into the teacher pool, they went straight to the unemployment line. And then Ron laughed when he found out she signed that bill. And she pretended like I didn't know what I was doing. I talked to Karen. I told her, I said, Karen, why are you taking these teachers out? They're not going to be able to come back after that strike. And that's what happened. After the strike, 2 weeks later, Ron closed 50 schools and fired them all. You see, look, I got tired of talking. So let me tell you about the Hispanic. I wrote a book, it's on Amazon, about the fact that Black children do not get the same support that immigrant children get. That's why they're running around. They don't even test them. They get additional help in everything. Jaquan, he fails. If he does not do well in school, he can fail 3 times and he'll be 16 when he goes to high school. That's a high school dropout. Juan over here doesn't have to speak English. He's going to pass every year and graduate on time because of the Bilingual Education Act. I wrote a book talking about begging people, please get that same support like Mama D was talking about. For our children need the same thing. It's on Amazon. I wrote another book about all the history of what's gone on in education. And it's a 300-page documentary called RAN 2010 at Rainbow's End on Amazon. You want to know what's truly happened in the schools? Get that book and read it. So you will be informed so these people are not making fools out of our community. We have been made a fool out of in Chicago. And I just wanted to say, I'm so proud of you, Zoe. I am proud of Danielle, which I call her the little super, hero, because she looks like, a little superhero. But, and all of you guys continue. I will be trying to support you. Pray for me, because what I'm doing will transform education for our children and for the Black teachers. I'm trying to get justice. And you got to ask, why am I doing this when this is the union's job? It is the responsibility of the Chicago.
Well, there's no real teachers over there. There's no real teachers over there, so that's why. So thank you, Dr. Rosita, and Mama Doris too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the educators is really time to come out, because that's another thing. You have to fight this CTU. CTU is a criminal organization,
Yes,
and they are
yes.
taking money as well. And as you see, we can't even get the CTU audits. And I feel like they're not giving the audits because I guarantee you they did a lot of mediation and settled a lot of those cases out of court, and a lot of those teachers are still working, but the ones who should be working are on a do not hire list because they're real
Right.
educators.
Oh wow. I think we got to call
And
us.
I'm not. We
Okay.
okay. And
Oh,
let me thousand, and they're new. Okay.
okay. Zoe, real quick, what I need you to do, tell us about uh, what happened if when we were trying to change Chicago not to be a sanctuary city. Real quick, tell us that story, because I know you was down there and know what everything. Tell us about that, because we actually had a chance to not to be a sanctuary city. What happened? Briefly in your own words, tell us what happened.
Oh,
Tell us.
Rosa Carlos Rosa Romero Rosa Ramirez, who is now head of the Park District. He threatened not only Emma Mitz, Stephanie Coleman, Nicole Lee, Chris Talaferro, and another guy, Cardonas, and said that he was head of zoning at the time. And he said that if they voted for us to have the right to be on the right to us for us the city to vote to see if we still want this to be a sanctuary city, that he would mess up any zoning or needed zoning in their wards. He'd make sure that they wouldn't get it.
Mm,
And she and basically they violated it. They tried to censure him, and Brandon Johnson vetoed it and said no. And then appointed him to park districts. He had him step down from zoning, and he was the floor leader. So he had him resign from those two. He still doesn't have a floor leader, and he still doesn't have anybody for zoning. But he appointed him to the park district. So now he's over the park district. And I want to say this real quick. You know those drummers that was over there on 63rd Beach,
yeah, yeah, I remember them.
and you see how they kicked them out. They put a gate so they can't drum over there no more.
Wow.
Yeah, that's him.
Mm,
So just letting people know that, because that's what we're dealing with. He's a part of the Hispanic KKK. I call the progressives down there Hispanic KKK, and he's one of them.
wow, that's true. Let's see what this caller. Let's see who this caller is. 3268 caller. Who are you?
Hey, what's going on, Martin?
Oh,
This is
Mr. Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Okay, Roosevelt. How you doing, Mr. Roosevelt? Talk to. What's your
I'm
comment?
doing great.
What's your
And
comment? Go ahead.
it's so good to hear. Ms. Zoe Lee. I mean, I was with you all last week. Going to a couple of places. It was nice hanging with you, Mr. Blakemore, Danny, and
Hello.
Miss Jessica,
Hello.
and what you all do.
What? Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Somebody's
Roosevelt.
talking somewhere.
I muted it. Go
And
ahead.
well, plus it's really good to somebody making a difference. Hopefully it's something that we are successful in flipping Chicago red, because it's just too much corruption. I mean, this is a Democrat-ran city, and just look at how the Democrats are just like completely, almost just like ruining this city. I mean, sometimes we don't hardly know what the solution is, but all I know is that whatever we got or whatever we can be a part of or support or whatever it is could be a whole lot better than what we have gone through and what we've seen right now. Because this is just terrible, and I would never vote for someone based upon just because they're black or whatever it is, you know, or do anything based upon someone's color ever again. I feel that we should learn that lesson a long time ago with Obama, because once Obama got in as a Democrat, thinking that this, and he's not even completely black, just a person of color, just a half breed, so to speak, if I have to use that expression. But we thought that he was actually going to do something. He actually did more to help LGBTQ than he did to help so-called black people. And this mayor that we have in the city of Chicago has done much far more to help, illegal migrants and immigrants, far much more than he's helped black people. And this has been the story of a whole lot of black politicians who we voted in office, to where they act like they're going to do something, or we think that they're going to do something only because they're one of us. Come to find out that once they get in there, they just, what do? They're going to sell us down the river. So no, no, just because someone's black or half black or whatever it is, no more voting for them no more. Just like I didn't vote for Kamala Harris, just because they say that she's black even though she's not black at all. But that's what they said. But I wasn't going to vote on just no color and everything no more. We need black people stop me. They need to stop looking at color and gender. Oh, just so we can get the first black into the White House, or the first black into City Hall, or the first black business here, or the first woman here. We need to stop, looking at the color of people and looking at people's gender and or what a person's sex, just because we want to make some kind of stupid history, and actually go and examine these politics and examine these people's principles, like what they've done, what they might have said in the past. So that way, something, if you study, then you can actually make a real wise decision instead of voting emotionally, all because just somebody is black and you just want somebody in there that just looks like you. I mean, so what if the mayor looks like one of us at our race? It doesn't help us any. That's good for him that he got in there. It's not doing anything for you that we got a so-called black mayor. No. We need to stop acting so emotional just because we want to be the first in everything, or want to put the first woman in or the first black in. Stop getting so emotional and vote on principle and principle only. That's about it.
Okay. I got another call. Let me read a question. Maybe you can answer, Zoe. In what way does flipping red benefit the African American community? What do you see changing by flipping red? That's Delisa Williams. She asked that question. Maybe you can.
Well, if no one doesn't see what me, Miss Jessica, and Danielle have been doing for this past year, then when it comes to what us fighting for our properties, our land is being taken, calling out the corruption, calling out what's going on, because we continue me exposing all the money that's supposed to go to our communities that we're never receiving. Um, we have nothing to lose. We literally have nothing in our communities. When you look at every other
Mm-mm.
community, and this is everywhere, but if you want to talk, we're going to talk about Chicago. You look at the North Side, you look at Humboldt Park, you look downtown. Only reason why downtown is empty is because COVID. COVID, all these community, all these businesses and stuff left because it's the third largest city. It should have never closed down, but that's for another day or time. But when you
Mm-hmm.
look at all
Amen.
of our communities, we have nothing but property tax increases. We can't get our TIF money. The reason why TIF money is even a thing, even when TIF money is even a thing, tax increment financing is for blighted areas. Who has the most blighted areas? We do. So until we are able to get in these seats and change the policies that are not good for us, because these policies are not good for us. If the policies were good for us, our communities would look just like Lincoln Park, would look just like Humboldt Park. We're everywhere. South, look at Harvey. I mean, it doesn't matter. Predominantly black area, we the only ones that can't get it together. Like, we the only ones. Like, a country that comes from Venezuelans that come from somewhere else, don't have no U.S. Constitution, don't have nothing, come from one of the poorest countries in America, can come here, set up shop, and their community still look better than ours. Like, we have to change the mindset, and if we're not going to change the mindset, because people are like, well, why we don't go independent? Well, if that's the case, did Gregory ran for president independent when the movement was where it was? He also ran for mayor here when the movement was where it was. He sued the city and won Supreme Court when he was marching with the teachers, and nobody didn't stand behind him. We're not ready to go independent. If we were ready to go independent, we would have went independent a long time ago. We independently continue to choose to vote blue, and they continue to hurt us. So you have nothing to lose if you finally try something different. And I know in my group, I'm pro-black, always been pro-black, been pro-black my whole entire life, and I'm also fighting
Thank
for
you.
my mother. And that's what people don't understand. I'm very family oriented. I love children. I love family. I love my elders. I understand that we have an education crisis, a mental health crisis. And until we get into these seats, until we move and revamp this whole political system, we will forever be a caste. We will ever be. The Democratic Party will continue to keep us a caste system out down at the bottom while they just moved a whole bunch of illegals in and giving them the middle class American dream.
Beautiful. Zoe, one thing, we got a guest came in. J-Mal just came in, but before he come, this is, as a Democrat, registered Democrat, I can truly say this, that I cannot blame what's going on here in the city of Chicago on Donald Trump. I cannot do that. Or no
Oh no.
Republicans. Or no Republicans, period. But let's take this caller real quick before I let J-Mal come in. 6387. 6387. Caller. Thank
How
you
you
for calling.
doing? Can you hear me, Martin?
Loud and clear.
Martin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi-
Yes.
How you doing, Martin? This is
Good.
Charmaine.
Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? Go ahead.
I'm good. I want to thank Chicago Flip Red.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank Zoe, Jessica, and Danny for what they're doing week after week, day after day. It is so unfortunate, and I'm looking at some of your comments because I too, and thank you too, Martin, for your show,
Mm-hmm.
am a registered Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Never again. I went from an independent to a non-affiliate. I don't follow blue. I don't follow red. I follow green. Zoe is when it comes to researching the finances and the money, she's bad to the bone. She can tell you where every dollar is. We are so busy following the agenda of a party that we don't even see that our children cannot read, that our sons are beating on a bucket for a quarter in the city of Chicago on the corner because we're too worried about a damn party. The agenda of the Democratic Party is to tell you to hate Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Hate Trump. He's the problem. That's the only agenda they have. Everybody in your comment, that is, and I can tell who the Democrats are. The only thing that they trying to tell you to do is dislike Trump. But they're not looking at what's going right in the face of their community. They're not looking at it because that's their agenda. Look at Trump. While all the while they steal. So it's like you look steal everything from your children, steal the education, steal any type of programs that help our community. They telling you to look at Trump. We got to deal with what's going on out here real. And I'm a speak on what happened in City Hall. When you see what me, Zoe, Mama Jessica, and the rest of us saw, when they turned off the lights to make sure that the Chicagoans didn't have an opportunity to vote for sanctuary cities. Carlos Rosa took the gavel. She was being nice. It was horrific what went downtown there. And most of the people that are in here cheering, talking about Trump is the problem, ain't never stepped foot in City Hall. And I'm tired of it. You don't need to tell people who are going through pain, people who are business owners, people who have watched their children get shot, and the people who are supposed to be your leadership, sit up there, make deals, wheel and deal in the back, and come out and lie in the face of the people that they supposed to serve. Enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be worried about Trump. We have leadership here in Chicago that we need to be fighting. And Brandon Jackson is a CTU candidate. I did not vote for him because I took the time to read his agenda. And when I realized that nothing in his agenda, although very well spoken, nothing in his agenda said anything for Black people. Ironically, Paul Vallis had 3 pages written out about how he wanted to change the face of the South and West Side of Chicago because he said that those were the most blighted community and that would be his legacy. That was enough for me because we've been ignored for far too long. We have got to stop listening to what these candidates, Chicagoans, you're smart people. We're some of the most politically astute people I know, and I've lived all over this country. We have got to stop allowing them to play in our face, stop listening to what they say, and watch what they do. And I'll land there.
Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you. Very well spoken. All right, we got Mr. Jamal Green. What's up, Mr. Green? Green time.
What's up? What's up, y'all? Let me
What's
let
up?
me say, Charmaine was on point, and this is the state of our city and our county and our state for all of these years. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to all those who take the time to go to city council to not only see what's going on but expose what's going on. No matter where you stand in a political aisle, no matter what issue that you are fighting against, trust me, there are a million of them. Shout out to, even George Blakemore, who like me 75% of the time and don't like me 25% of the time. George is gonna show up and he gonna go after them whenever it's necessary. People who take their true time out to step up. And then I want to say to Crime Chaser, you are a piece of the blame for this. So we ain't gonna let you off of the hook.
All right, now don't let me put that picture up there what you eating with Paul Pals, that chicken now.
you know,
Go ahead.
that's
Yeah, I take my
that's
blame.
so
I take
funny.
my blame. Go ahead.
You know, the reality of the situation is that we have been so brainwashed all of these years over what has happened that literally all they gotta do is puppet a black face and we gonna think that's okay. And that is unfortunate. There is never a time, and it's so funny. There's never a time that you'll see the most. I would say that I'm probably the most pro-black person in the city, even bigger than Martin Crime Chaser Johnson. But
I disagree.
we have we have done a lot of the pro-black movements together.
Yeah.
But the fact that even when we supported, and I did support Paul Vallis, should have signaled something, especially because I've been knowing both of them half my life and knowing who actually was going to interrupt the system. And let me make clear, neither one of them were my first, second, or third candidate. Let's be serious. Let's be for real here. I was number 1, 2, and 3, and I was better than all of them. But the reality is that black people got sucked up into, he's too young, even though I was polled the most popular candidate, but only 55 and over voted, just like Crime Chaser. So we gotta be serious here, people. I ain't throwing no more shots, Crime Chaser. I ain't throwing no shots at you.
Okay.
But we gotta be serious here. I talked about this today, y'all. I put up a video today. Do y'all know that the property tax sales system is still illegally taking people's property and take people's property? I want y'all to understand this. In 2023, the Supreme Court, Tyler versus Hennepin, they already made the ruling 9-0. It is a unanimous decision that it is illegal under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution that a government can take people's homes for a small portion of a tax sale if the property is worth way much more. So what the Supreme is, if you sold that property for $10,000, but that property is worth $200,000, then you owe that property owner $190,000. They have taken $200 million of equity from the black community. And nobody's talking about it.
Amen.
Mainstream not talking about it. The media not talking about it. The politicians aren't either because they all in bed with these multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar tax purchasers who are stealing grandma's property. Because guess what? 60% of all tax sales, Crown Chaser, are where? In black zip codes.
Yeah.
60%. And guess what?
Okay.
50% of those 60% are seniors. Grandma's house, great grandma's house. She died, left it to somebody. They didn't pay the taxes. So a tax sale happened and they bought that property for little or nothing. And they took that property, which was illegal to do without paying the property owner a surplus. So at the end of the day, guys, understand that there's every part of these systems, they're corrupt. Tony Preckwinkle, ahead of the Democratic Party, ahead of the Cook County tax system, ain't saying nothing. You know why? Because she a part of the corruption. And all of these folks stood up, and I was the one who was on every TV station saying Brandon Johnson is a fraud. They said J Mall just a hater. J Mall is too young. Crime Chaser was they came and got in Crime Chaser here for him to be on here talking mess about me. Everybody stood up and said, no, we voting for Brandon Johnson. All of y'all was fooled to believing that Brandon Johnson from Elgin, Illinois, who ain't never had a lemonade stand, who was handpicked by Stacey Davis Gates, was the black representative that could be like Harold Washington. Y'all got to be out of y'all mind. This man walked in the office and immediately in his first week signed off on $51 million for migrants. And immediately after that, kept signing off, signing off. Even we had $100 million of federal COVID dollars left. He gave them $95 million of the COVID dollars. When y'all sat around here, y'all couldn't pay y'all rent. Y'all needed some COVID rent assistance. Y'all needed prescriptions paid for. Y'all needed grocery support because during COVID. And they had COVID money that the federal government gave to the city of Chicago. And you know what Brandon Johnson did with the COVID money that was for y'all? He gave it to them. People that just walked across the border and claimed asylum got our resources like that. You ain't never in your life seen the government give away $1 billion in a year for migrants, for an issue for us. Never. And I am blaming everybody that played a part in the siege here because Brandon Johnson stole this election with y'all. And everybody played a role in helping them steal this election. Stacey Davis Gates is the architect of all of what's going on. The teachers union went in there and made sure that they had the biggest contract in history, Crime Chaser. The teachers are the number one paid teachers in the country. And guess who paying for it? Go and look at your new tax bill. Go look at your new tax bill, and you're going to see the number one highest cost on your tax bill is an increase to the Chicago public schools to pay for the teacher's contract that Brandon Johnson was put in there to put forth. Y'all have to understand what's going on, but guess what? Hey, I ain't never got to be the man in charge. I ain't never got to be the one that they put in charge, but I'm going to always speak the truth, and I'm going to always stay firm on my morals and integrity, and I'm going to always tell y'all what's the truth. And y'all can, all my haters can hate, but guess what? The truth is going to be the truth, and the truth is that the whole system is working together against you to hurt your kids, to make sure that your kids are not properly educated, that they don't have neighborhoods to walk up and walk around and grow up in, that they ain't got no trade programs, no tech hubs to learn tech, nothing to elevate their lives. They are going to make sure that you and your children and your family, that they steal the wealth from your properties, that they leave properties in your neighborhood vacant so that your property values can decrease. They are going to make sure that you suffer. And all of y'all are continuing to vote for it. When you punch the ticket for a Tony Preckwinkle, when you punch the ticket for a Brandon Johnson, when you punch the ticket of a J.B. Pritzker, stop playing games with real life situations. We are in a state of emergency, and black people in the city of Chicago is going to be extinct. They're going to make sure of it if we keep voting the same way. I'm going to be quiet.
Man, I ain't never got beat up on my shoulder where he beat me up today. God dog. Woo. He beat me up. Let's go to some callers. I got a Democratic caller here. All right, now y'all hold on your seatbelt now, Zoe. I think that's old timer. Come on, old timer. 4093. Come
Oh
on.
Lord, have mercy.
Okay, come on, old timer.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Come
you
on.
know, I'm gonna stand for
Come
the
on, bro.
Democratic Party, but
Well, come on with it.
see what it is. What that brother's got to tell you is that you got property tax increase around the world. This is around the world type thing that's going on, and every time you go down and you go to the powers that be, what they're going to tell you is that, well, see, the reason why we increase your taxes is because from the last 6 years, if you notice, you haven't had an increase. So they got now he might be right about them stealing it, but they're gonna give you a reason why they're doing it. Even more so. Now I've been telling you, Martin, you
Mhm.
know, all this gibberish that these people talking, that can't be. Because when you run for your committee offices, when you run for your committee purposes, you have to run as a Democrat. This brother ain't doing up a blowing smoke up a fight. You ain't gonna never win as a Republican. And I don't even know why these people keep on getting on this line trying to trick somehow.
Hey, old
The
timer, I'm not a
Republicans,
Republican, so I'm not a Republican.
well,
Zoe
well,
is, but
okay,
I'm
well,
not a
that's fine
Republican.
then. Well, you should. Well, I hope you're a Democrat. But what I'm trying to tell you is that
I'm
look,
independent.
you're a Republican. That's what you are. You might as well go on and admit it. You're a Republican. And all these other people that are independent, that they're Republicans. You just a vote for the Republican, a rubber stamp. That's all you are. And that's what our problem is. This brother ain't got this. You cannot win nothing as no independent. You just helping the Republican Party. That's all you're doing. And see, all these
That's
people,
incorrect.
all these people. Well, I understand what you're saying, brother. Sometimes you
No,
vote this
the
and vote
city
that. I
races, just so
understand.
you know, the city
Huh?
races are nonpartisan. You don't have to identify a party in local races. I just want to make
Well,
that clear. Go
okay,
ahead.
I understand. Yeah, that's true. I understand. But the thing of it is that these people, this stuff is designed to have tax. And everybody, when they look at their property tax, look, I look at my property tax bill. It's sky high. It's going up through the roof. And when you go down there, only thing they're gonna do is give you a little relief. They're gonna say, "Well, how old are you?" And they're gonna say, "Well, I'm such and such." They say, "Oh, you qualified for the $1,000 relief that they're gonna give you all." But the rest of it,
Exactly.
they keep it intact. They keep it intact,
100%.
man. They keep it intact. And if you do not go to these meetings, see, black people don't like to go to meetings. And then when black people do go to meetings, they be all loud, they be all talkative, they want to go in there cursing and carrying on. They ain't gonna get nothing solved. You just gonna have to stand, and you're gonna have to stand, and you're gonna
No,
have to
no, the
turn off the
reality
fan.
is, hey, I'm gonna tell you the reality. The reality is that the older generation, and this is not to put it on you, the older generation is continuing to be full. See, they built these senior facilities on purpose. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They built these senior facilities on purpose with tax dollars so that they can be able to contain our seniors in all of these different facilities that other politicians really not supposed to be able to get in unless they are authorized to. So what happens is these are the seniors that they can go to on holidays, give turkeys to. They can go on Christmas and bring some Christmas gifts. They can knock on their door and say, "Hey, hey, hey, hey," and then when election comes, you go and vote for them, but you're not paying attention to what they actually doing to you in the 4 years. And that's why the younger generation gotta go get grandma, gotta go get grandpa and say, "Listen, I need you to understand what's really going on out here on the streets because grandma and grandpa, most of them people that's voting, they never come out the house. They never come out the same facility. And these are the people that we have to educate so that they can understand that we are in a state of emergency and the politicians that they constantly have voted for 20 years are taking everything from them. And it ain't Trump. It ain't Trump in the White House. It's the Democrats right here locally who are raising your property taxes and then taking all the money. And guess what? They're gonna say, "Oh, we'll give y'all $1,000 of relief." $1,000 of relief is a slap in the face when they taking our properties. They not developing in our neighborhoods. They not funding our schools properly. Our kids are being miseducated. We are literally in a situation where you talk about what property taxes are being raised. They're gonna tell you that it's because we downtown is vacant. Yes, down that is a piece of it. But let me also tell you that Fritz Kagi and the Board of Review are working together to devalue the properties downtown, because those people downtown who own them buildings, they got money to hire lobbyists. They got money to hire lawyers. They got money to go and fight all of those people who are down there at the Board of Review. And they got money to fund the campaigns of Fritz Kagi, of the Board of Review, and everybody that is going to decide their property taxes. So what's going to happen? Why you think Mike Madigan and Ed Burke got property tax firms? Where y'all think how y'all think they funneling the money? They created the property tax firms so that they rich clients can fund their property tax firms. That was the way that they got the millions of dollars that they made. And that's why they are where they are in jail. Is because they have constantly been taking bribes from the rich people to lower their taxes downtown. And when you lower the taxes downtown, guess what happens? The homeowners get the increase. That's what happened with the Board of Review and Fritz Kagi and the property assessor. But what they gonna do is they gonna give you $1,000. Stop playing. We gotta know what's really going on.
Zoe,
I
you've been.
agree 100%.
Hold on,
Right.
old timer. I want Zoe to respond to a lot J-Mal said when he first talked. So go ahead, Zoe, real quick. I know she was shaking her head like, yeah, this. So what?
I was agreeing, but
Okay, okay, okay.
I've been in this fight. Me and Miss Jessica. That's how Chicago Fist Red started. The city of Chicago. We were down there screaming. The city of Chicago's stealing black people's property.
Mm-hmm.
Marlene Hopkins, who's getting an $18,000 raise, commissioner of the bills department, is running an illegal eminent domain scheme in our communities, and in TIF districts, and going after our seniors. They went after my mother. They went after my godfather. And they didn't think that they had me. They didn't think they had me, and at the end of the day, I told them. So I mean, we've been fighting for a very long time. Like, honestly, trying to get a press conference. Nobody didn't want to stand with us to get a when we talked about our properties. We stood with everybody. I mean, to the point that that's why I had to do Chicago Fist Red, because I'm like, ain't nobody coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. You can't get no lawyers. You can't get anything. Like, that's why I ran to Breakfast Club, because I'm like, it got to get out here, because I can't get no help, mainstream media, nothing. So I asked Charlemagne for 30 minutes. Like, it's bad out here. They're preying on our seniors. We can't get no help. And I'm in this democratic city that's supposed to be black excellence, and they do not care. So when old timers sits here and say that this city will never turn red, okay, well, I guarantee you it will. I guarantee you'll be a Republican governor. I guarantee you'll be a Republican mayor since 1931. I guarantee we'll get some of the Republican seats. So I think people need to go back and look at the history. I think people need to understand what freedmen is. I think if people want to talk about Trump and all the negative things about Trump, let's talk about Trump right now fighting for the 14th Amendment that no Democrat will talk about. The Democrats will never talk about freedmen. They will never talk about the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, the Civil Rights Movement. They will never talk about the radical Republicans. They will never talk about any of those things, because then they would have to admit that the Republicans is the ones who freed us. So that's just what it is. It's an uncomfortable truth. And those are the things. When it comes to all of our majority of our black leaders that are here now, from even Jesse Jackson, they have all failed us. All failed us. They made sure that their family got stuff. They made sure that their family ate, but they never took care of the community. And that's the problem that we have in our community. I mean, in our community. And we keep holding on to the Democratic Party like something's gonna change. Nothing's gonna change. I'll give you a prime example. Toni Preckwinkle has millions of dollars in her campaign. Same as a lot of these aldermen. With what black person got the money in our communities to keep giving them that type of money? Who's funding those campaigns in the black community? We can't afford it. But we're the main people who continue to vote that way. They are literally stealing all the money that's supposed to be allocated to our communities to fund their campaigns, to bring the same people in there to do the same exact thing. It's never going to change. And now they're building the little baby system with the kids. Walter Burnett's son, Stephanie Coleman. You understand? Like, it's just the same cycle. Ain't nothing gonna change until we change the system. And that's our job. You know, Jamal's job, our job. We're the new adults. The old system is not working. It's not working. You go down there, it's 50 city council members, which is too many. That's another thing they need to cut. But 50 aldermen down there, 49 of them are just Democrats. Our policies are going to continue to hurt us because we've got 49 Democrats down there and one independent, Napolitano. We got, like, the only reason why they haven't passed this budget yet is because everybody is on their ASS, because they know that this is for the first time that they're going to be removed if they pass this budget, knowing that you guys took out money when it comes to this homeless services that we need an audit for. You got these raises that do not make any sense. You got migrant money in there through all these other things. It's so embarrassing. Like I said, I got the ain't like, old timer can talk all that stuff, but I got the budget. You understand? I've been on this budget. It's sick. It's sickening. It's sickening. And this is my third budget. Last year, I saw that they was laundering money through epidemiology. $1.8 billion in the last 4 years. Epidemiology is when they test to see what kind of diseases, and stuff like that. What can we get? But $1.8 billion in epidemiology, when we $1.2 billion in the deficit, we were in $1 billion deficit last year. So I'm just saying, like, the Democratic Party ain't nothing but thieves. Let me tell you something. An uncomfortable truth. I used to be one of the biggest thieves. That's how I know stealing. I have no, like, I know some people try to, like, I know they laundering through every channel that you can think of. And they keep screaming racism. No, y'all is thieves.
Let me,
Mhm.
hey, Crime Chaser.
Let me
I wanna,
go,
I
go
wanna,
ahead.
I
Go
wanna
ahead.
say something real quick because, I see people. Of course, Zoe and Chicago Flip Red, they're gonna get backlash because of their Republicans and the Democrats supposed to hate Republicans and all this bull crap, right? Me, I don't believe in party, period, right? And because no parties have ever represented us, I'm common sense. That's where I am. But I understand why there's a Chicago Flips Red. And if you're not in the city of Chicago or live in the state of Illinois, then you would not understand. Number one, this is a Democratic ran state. People don't understand it. There's no balance of power. There's no half Republicans. There's not a third of Republicans in the state legislature and city council. And so there's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is no, you cannot in this state in any of the major roles have any power if you are not Democrat in all of these years. And what happens is sometimes a Republican governor slip in, but since the Democrats still control the legislature, they're like Bruce Rauner when he was in, he's not going to be able to do anything that he wants to do because they're going to stop him, right? So my point is that when all of these systems, when you lived in the city of Chicago and you know that all of these systems that have been ran by Democrats that have hurt your family in some way, they've taken your wealth, your kids are being miseducated and killed. They're taking the life and the life out of communities. And we've watched it. We've watched them do it. People don't understand we in other cities and we talking about Democrats because they're like, oh, no, come and look at our Democrats. Our Democrats are none other. No, they're not no other Democrats in the country. Michael Madigan ran this state for 51 years. He is currently in jail right now. for some stuff he did on his 50 corruption. I want you to understand this. In which he ran a tax firm, in which a phone. He wouldn't get on the phone because he knew that they are a wiretap that the feds will listen in to his conversations. Every union, every business, every monopoly, ComEd, People's Gas, everybody in this state patted the pockets of Mike Madigan, the most powerful man, Speaker of the House for 51 years, Democrat. He controlled everybody's account. Years ago, when I was looking to see, I was doing my research on politicians, Crown Chaser, and
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the accounts of every Democrat. I want y'all to look at this. Here's this website for y'all. I'm going to give y'all some information. IllinoisSunshine.org, right? IllinoisSunshine.org, you can go and look at the donations and the expenses of any politician in the state. So I was on Illinois Sunshine some years ago, and I was looking at state reps and state senators, and I was looking at their accounts to see, where they was getting money from, who was sending money. Especially, I wanted to run for office, so I wanted to see who was the funders, right? And when I was looking at their committees, I found a common thing, Crime Chaser, is that their treasurer of the campaign committee, that majority of them had the same person who controlled all of their money. And so I said, this don't make sense. These are all different people and everybody got the same person. So then I looked deeper in the committee, and you'll look at committees and it'll say transfer from this state rep, transfer from this state senator, transfer from this state rep. All of their accounts are just transferring money. State reps and state senators, this is how they win their races. They all fund each other's campaign. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, where are they getting their money from? The Democratic Party. Okay, where's the Democratic Party money coming from? All of the entities who do business that are making hundreds of millions of dollars. And Mike Madigan, as the controller of the Speaker of the House, what he does is whoever he wants to be a state rep, a state senator, say he has an open seat, Crown Chaser, or he want to get rid of somebody. He chooses somebody in that district, and he goes into the committee accounts for the other state reps and state senators, money out of their accounts to fund the new state rep he wants to get in. So they don't control their money. They don't control their donations. The Democratic Party controls the donations of all state reps and state senators, all the Democrats who run state politics. So at the end of the day, they're not even fundraising of their own campaigns. They are literally in power because the Democratic Party chose them to be in power. So everybody in power in the state of Illinois is chosen because the Democrats right now are funded by J.B. Pritzker. Pritzker right now funds the Democrats. He say, here it's 25 million, here's 50 million. He gives them large checks like that. And the Democratic Party gives to all of the state reps and state senators they want to have money. And so all of them got $1 million in their account. And then whoever is the new state rep or state senator they want to get in, they give money to him from their accounts to get them in the club. So if you are a person that want to run for state rep or state senator, you got another thing coming. You ain't got enough money to beat them. You're going to fight the Democratic Party because they're going to pour money into their own candidate to fight you. So the point is that this game is controlled. This ain't fair. Ed Burke was the longest running alderman, 51 years. These aldermen have tax firms and they run the monopolies and they control who gets in power. Understand that this is not a situation where we think this is a democracy. This is not a democracy. The Democratic Party is a dictatorship in Illinois. So I don't give a damn about what Trump is doing. I can't. You know why? Because all my life I've watched the dictatorship and the Democrats hurt my people. And still to this day, they are hurting our people, Crime Chaser. The elections are not fair. I ran for mayor, the third largest seat in the country, and I had to put forth 30,000 signatures. This is the largest signature count in the country, more signatures to run for mayor, for president to run for mayor of a city. Do you understand that? They make it harder. In campaign caps, Crime Chaser, a union like the teachers union can just pour $10 million, move union money. This should be a conflict of interest. Crime Chaser, this should be a conflict of interest. Do you know that the unions are funding their own politicians from union dues? Who are paying the union dues, crime chasers?
Mm,
Crime chaser? The people who are working for these unions, public sector unions, teachers. Who are paying the teachers, crime chaser?
mm,
Taxpayers. So taxpayers paying the teachers union is still in the teachers dues, and the teachers dues are funding the person they want to run Chicago. Is that not a conflict of interest?
mm.
Come on, y'all. I want y'all to wake up. Y'all got to wake up to this. Somebody said, Jessica says, is this Jake Mahal campaign? No, not yet. But y'all still got to wake up to this. I'm giving y'all the gems. Take everything that I'm saying. Go and Google and understand this stuff. This is real. Just
Mm.
saying.
Okay.
It's on Zoe. Go ahead.
Well,
That's why, like I said, I'm flip. Chicago Fist Red is here. Like call me
we,
anything but a Democrat. Bob. All right.
we got we got
Call me anything but a
Zoe.
Democrat.
We got a couple
Um,
more callers too. I don't
Huh?
know.
Oh yeah, but
And
yeah, call me anything but
no, no.
Democrat. But now, like,
Okay.
I feel like the system here is broken.
All right.
I feel like it will
Have
be a
broken.
change. It will be a fair. I mean, it's a fair game right now, and I do feel like um the Republicans will win. I mean, there's people that have TDS, Trump, deranged syndrome. Trump don't have nothing to do with what's going on in this city. And that's the problem. I mean, the taxes just went up. Okay, you've got team takeovers all the time. You have shootings. You have a person who's saying that the crime is not down to this. We have robberies out of galore. I mean, you got bicycle lanes that's causing crashes. You've got illegals causing crashes and making insurance go up. None of this, and when Trump tried to come and get them, kind of get the illegals, it was a problem. So there's people that have an issue with things that Trump is doing on a federal level that still is not it still is not hurting the lower, like the holding, I'm hurting local level. People talk about tariffs. I'm for tariffs. Matter of fact, he need to charge more. That's the issue. I think that it's just some people that have a mindset of thinking that everybody's supposed to be like on this equal playing field when it comes to like money. I don't have to live like how you want me to live. To run my company the way that you want me to run my company. And for some reason, black people feel like the Democratic Party is some type of financial pillow. And as long as we stay here at the bottom of the totem pole and y'all get y'all favorite people in there and they take a picture and they hand you a turkey and some Amazon socks, that they are good for the community while they're selling out the community. How many times, like, what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for black older people to realize that the Democratic Party is terrible? Like, look at when you were growing up, when Stony Island had every store, every gas station, every grocery store, compared to now. What Republican did? Who did that? Like, who did Reagan? Like, who did that? Who, like look at who was in office. The crime bill. Where were the senators? Where were the congressional members during this time when Bill Clinton and Joe Biden was out here making sure that we didn't have nothing in our communities? Who making sure that the father wasn't in our communities, making sure that there wasn't any type of resources to make sure that our kids who were raised by parents that were on
Yeah.
some type of drug, that they would make sure that they would have free
I do
education,
it tonight.
free housing, free jobs, free everything. Where were those people? Where was the Maxine Waters? Where were those people? Where were they? No, they were nowhere to be found. So now that we've moved to here, that I'll be 40 next month, and that there's younger people there's other people that's coming in that have an independent mindset, because I'm independent at the end of the day. I independently align myself with the Republican Party because the city of Chicago is ran by a whole bunch of Democrats, and you can't sit here and tell me I can't break this. You can't sit here and tell me that I can't break this Democratic stronghold in this city, my mother's city. You cannot tell me that when I know my heart, I know what I'm about, and I know that I have other people surrounded by me that also have a heart and love the people and know that we can make a change. So I'm tired of hearing people say, well, what can the Republican Party do? Well, the Democratic Party didn't do nothing but continue to take everything out of your community. You see, the property taxes just went up in Woodlawn, Inglewood, Garfield, the highest. And what did Jason Irvin and Monique Scott give you? A gymnasium, and have Fitz come in there and tell you how you can appeal your taxes and give you the reason why, when he knows what he did. Like, I mean, at this point, we I know it might be a mental illness. It got to be a mental illness, because if you think that, if you're not going to bully me to tell me how I can vote, and anybody else that decides, if I want to vote green, I can. If I want to vote purple, I can. If I don't want to vote at all, I don't have to. But I know the importance of us voting, because if we don't vote, we are going to deal with South Shore being another little village. It's going to be another humble park, because this Haitian mayor, with this foster kid of a mayor, because if you see the family, there's a family picture now, Martin, I got to give you. The whole family looks like the kids, are all foster kids. Nobody looked like them two parents, man. So you're dealing with a man who honestly has abandonment issues. Okay, so and a lot of people that grow up in foster care, they already into the system. They dedicated to the system. They are the system. And I hate to say that, but it's true. So we're dealing with a man who locked arms with the liberals. You posted that. Okay, you're dealing with a man who doesn't know. Walgreens said probably never owned a lemonade stand, so don't know the basics of a business. You're dealing with a man who was making all these promises to these black elites and giving them money while pushing out the poor and the seniors, screaming affordable housing, but giving raises to Hispanics and Hispanic gay men. He has really appointed a lot of Hispanic gay men. I don't know if he's part of the rainbow. I don't know. But I do know that we're going to lose this city to Hispanics. We're going to lose this city to Hispanics. He's literally going to give this city to Hispanics. And I remember one of my favorite old cousins, God bless her soul. This is Jesse Brown's mother, Jesse Brown from the VA. When Chuy Garcia was running uh, against Lori Lightfoot and Tony Preckman at that time, my mom had said, well, maybe, it's time for something new. My old ass cousin, God rest her soul, my favorite cousin, she said, mm-mm. She said, because once you get them in, you can't get them out. And I will never forget that. And I watch how they do not reach for their hand back at us down there at City Hall. That black and brown stuff, no, it ain't no black and brown. I watched them talk about black and brown all for the first year. None of them stood with us. Ray Lopez, none of them stood with us at all. But they would use our statistics to get money. They would use our pain to get money, black and brown. They would use all this while they literally was pushing us out of the door. So the Democratic Party has turned into the party of illegal immigrants. The Democratic Party has turned to the party of LGBTQ. The Democratic Party has turned to the party of black grifters. Okay? If you're not in the party, if you're not in their party, the NAACP party, if you don't give sellout vibes, if you are not going to take an oath to this system and not your people, then you might as well that's what that party is. The Democratic Party is not, that party is compromised. And it's never gonna go back. It's never gonna go back because they done let too many people infiltrate it. It's infiltrated. It's gone. And I need us to understand we have nothing to lose. It's Republican, independent. Independent would be great, but we can't independently fill up them chambers. Them chambers need to be filled up with us. We got 5 city council meetings coming up for this budget. Every city council, 15, 16, 17 to 18. Next week, we need to be in there. The 23rd, we need to be in there to let them know because there is money allocated to our communities that as being taken. And it's being taken on top of us paying for a crisis that we did not ask for. We did not ask for them illegals to come here. And when Harold Washington, I believe, when he decided that this city was going to be a sanctuary city, I don't think that he thought that millions of illegals were going to come over here and then 60,000 of them reach Chicago. I don't think that.
Nor was there ever a budget put in place to even take care of that amount of folks.
Okay.
Right.
Listen.
I don't know why people thought just because Harold Washington did that all them years ago that he said, "Oh, here's $100 million a year just in case a bunch of people come over." No, the sanctuary city was symbolic. It was saying that we won't tell on you. That's it. It did not say we're going to go far enough to put a large budget like $1 billion in place to take care of millions of y'all. No, it didn't say that. It said y'all can come and run from ICE here. We just ain't gonna snitch on y'all. That's what it initially was for. We finna allocate $100 million to take care of y'all over the residents. That was not Harold Washington's intention and never was. So people get that misconstrued. And I gotta I was thinking about Crime Chase. I don't mean to get on you again, but I gotta ask you this question. I ain't got you enough. My question is, you said that you voted for Trump.
Yeah, I did.
Is that what I
Yeah,
heard
I
when I
voted for
was
Trump.
listening
Yeah,
before
I
I got
voted for
on?
Trump and no secret.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right.
But you supported Brandon,
Yeah.
What?
right?
Yeah. So
So
let me
in my view, we got to be consistent with our
right.
votes. You get what I'm saying? Because you vote for Brandon Johnson, now Trump, Trump coming to clean up some of the stuff that he's done. My thing is that listen, the national election is not as important as our local, especially for Chicago. For us, we can't afford to only focus on national. But guess what? In the mayor's race, only 29% of people vote. Okay. So you got 1.6 million registered voters, and you can't even get a third of them to even come out and vote. Why? It's because it's designed that way. It's in February. The next election is February 23rd, 2027. In the middle of the cold. It ain't with no national election. You're gonna barely hear about it on TV so that they can suppress the vote. So when they could throw $10 million on Brandon from all these union dues and that they done stole from teachers and SEIU officials, um, people are just fooled because it's all done in a 60-day period. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get on you, Crime Chaser. I know I've already told you it's part of
Yeah.
your fault.
All right.
But I think going forward, we have to be informed and we have to get out of our feelings and we have to stop playing identity. We have to understand what's an agenda that benefits us and we need to support it. Go ahead, Crime Chaser.
Here. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. This show, I ain't never got beat up the way I got beat up on this show. All right. Zoe, I'm blaming you. Listen, but you know what? Let's get a young folks applaud because they both of them are great. Both of them are great. They do their research. I need to take a caller, but also I want to make a statement. Somebody sent me a text. They said both sides need term limits, Chicago finance reform. So do you guys agree with that? Okay. All right, let's take a caller.
Agree.
Okay, let's take a caller. Let me get one caller because people been holding on for 30 minutes. All right, let's go to which caller has been on here the longest? Okay, let me get this person on here. Y'all forgive me. Let me get a thank y'all for holding callers. 1381, real quick. 1381. Thank you for holding. 1381.
Yeah, I just want to say, with everything I done heard, all of them right.
Okay.
Old timer right. He writing and he writing exact was said. Old timer right. And I don't win that old time before. But he right. Jamal right. Zoe right. They all right. Especially from what I've been witnessing going down there. So in City Hall. They right. But what we have to fail to realize here in Chicago, in the state of Illinois, if you think about what everybody's saying, all the listeners think, replay it, how many times to think about everything they saying. This machine is whaled oil. And it don't matter what side here in Illinois you try to go to. Because in 2024, when I was going down there, I did me a little investigation on the Republican Party. The same Republicans that's going to having these little events and people going to and things like that, they was having their office door closed. And I got a video on that too. So they had their office. It happened on the 6th, the 6th, 2024. They got their office door. They're not trying to fight. They're not trying to fight. And then the people that is fighting, y'all ain't got no money. It takes finance to uplift a nation. You need finance. You need groundwork. It should be already groundwork going through and stuff like that because this is a well-oiled machine. We up against a lot. They got the court system sold up. They got the lawyers sold up to where you can't. That's why you only see injury claims on your commercial on your TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said what he said about the housing. They pulled this trick. I told Miss Jackson, when she first told me about her case and Zoe too, I told them, they did this in a couple of decades ago. They pulled this move in what's called Roseland when they took all them senior homes and things like that, and the banks and the insurance companies was all in on it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our seniors that's in them buildings that Jamal mentioned, that's in these senior buildings, they lost their properties too. Yeah. They give them Section 8, et cetera, and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So people feel, our people been weak over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the first family and the last family they denied rental assistance down there. So that's why a person like, man, you kind of controversial. Yeah, because I see how they doing things. I see how they giving all that money and TIF money to the north side. That's why it looks so nice in our communities. We can't get nothing. So people want to get mad at me for speaking out or saying something controversial because even my daughter down there on the mic, you know what I'm saying, we looking and asking for housing. And not for no handout either, just assistance. They didn't care whether I was working or not. And then the hatred that come a person way because you a man. Only reason they got Brandon Johnson out there so a person can hate on our men, to be honest. That's why they got him as the front street. You know what I'm saying? But if he was a straight up man, he wasn't out for, I don't even want to say on your show, you know what I'm saying, but the different groups and cliques, etc. You know what I'm saying? I know about all these organizations. I'm the main one push for what's that? Bring Chicago home to fail. I infiltrated that organization and say what they was about. They ain't gonna try to help us. That wasn't for us. They was gonna give that money to the migrants. They had a blank check ready where they can put anything on that check. And I'm asking, well, what is the money used for? Where is that money gonna go? It needs to be earmarked. I know how organization run and things like that. And where a person knows, I get a lot of hatred my way for the things I know and I don't witness down there. Because I'm sitting in them meetings too. I see how government operate. I know how it operates. I see where the money going. I see people making side deals, etc. Because they ain't got enough housing, Section 8 or whatever on the north side. So a person like Lawson, you know, he make a deal and turn the church into housing and things like that. You know, so keep the feds up off of them. They real tricky and slick about how they do things too. They real crafty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we need to stop arguing with each other, fighting with each other, hating on each other, etc. And I'm talking about these groups, you know what I'm saying? Chicago Flip Red, Chicago Red, you know, any of us, because we all gonna feel it. And if you don't, you gonna feel it so bad, just like I've been down there fighting for housing, for the homeless people. I just want to fight for my family either. Let's get that straight too. I was mentioning for all the homes. I was talking about these shelters, how they doing these shelters, how people, etc. Because I'm living it. I'm living it. You know what I'm saying? Where they showing me an apartment with blood in the tub. I got the pictures and everything. And I say I gave Brandon Johnson all that. I talked with him. If they not trying to help us. They not going to help us. It ain't made to help us. It's not. It's not made to help us. So a person can flap on one side of their wing or they can flap on the other. For that bird to fly, they both gotta flap together. So when Trump take away certain funding, it still hurt our people. It still hurt our people. We gotta be our own. These people up over here that's coming over here, no matter what, if you look at the core, the essence of all other nationalities, they being their own. And then they move their own in to order the machine.
Okay.
We got to come together as one and order the machine ourselves. Peace.
Hey, Crime Chaser.
Okay.
Let me piggyback.
Go ahead.
He right 100%. Illinois, the machine is a well-oiled machine. He is totally right. It's gonna take a revolution to be able to take a hold of the power in the state. Think about it like this: J.B. Pritzker last race, he funded Darren Bailey to be the candidate he ran against. Just think of that. He gave money to the Republican Party for Darren Bailey so that Darren Bailey can beat what the hell his name was? Richard Mayor. Can't think of
Yeah, I
his
know who
name.
you're talking
Right,
about.
Mayor.
I can't
They
think of his name.
they funded, yeah, they didn't beat him now. He done lost his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
They funded Darren Bailey to beat him so that he can be the primary, either he could be his primary opponent because they knew based on all polls he was the easiest beat. So the Democratic Party is going to make God gets funded to keep this gravy train rolling. And the Republicans in this state are so far gone and been around for so long. That's why if there is any Republicans, it need to be new Republicans like Zoe, because the older Republicans are really in bed with the Democratic Party because they really don't have no power, so they got to still get paid. You feel what I'm saying? So they literally getting money too. So the reality is and what he said, I'm gonna put a tap on the end. He said, the truth is that black people have to create their own power. Asian people do it. That's why they ain't got to run politicians. They finally got their first politician they ever had with Nicole Lee, but they don't have to run politicians. Chinatown gonna be good at all times. These groups of people, the Jewish community, etc., they're gonna be good at all times because they're powerful together. Black people have to come together. We have to pool our money together. We have to open up our own businesses. We have to buy the block. We have to protect the block. We have to open up our own PACs, our own super PACs to fund our own candidates. Black people have to create power within itself because the truth is that no matter where you are
You breaking
no
up.
matter what you're
Your signal
trying to
bad.
do. Can you hear me, Crown?
Jessica.
Yeah, your signal.
I was
Okay.
joined.
Okay, your signal bad, Jamal. Your signal bad. You might get your Wi-Fi. We're gonna take a couple
All right.
calls. I got
Go
Jessica.
ahead.
Okay, come on, Jessica, real quick. Because I put you in the front, Jessica, but I got two other people in front of you. But go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm,
I just wanted to call in because I think that it's a part of this that's missing.
okay.
We know the problem. We talk about the problems all the time. Chicago flips red, the concept of it, not the organization. I say it all the time. This is way more than t-shirts, hats, and a slogan. The message that we were putting out from coming down there to City Hall was that all of us came down there with our individual problems. Zoe issue with her mother's property, which is a very serious issue to her. It had the rippling effect of going to others. But for sure, she was out there protesting for her cause. Same way with me coming down there about my mother's property. I was coming down there for my cause. I sure was. Yep. And it eventually had the rippling effect to what you see how Chicago Flips Red developed. Same thing with Michael. Same thing with Sims or whoever else that comes down there. It should be your personal issue that gets you down there
Hmm.
because that's what motivates you to get involved. The situation that's bothering you. If you coming down there on behalf of somebody else and others, you liable to run out of steam because these things do take a long time. But for me, what I can say is I can't afford to look at the Democratic Party or what's going on in Chicago or City Hall. I can't afford to look at it in a defeated way. I can't afford to look at this situation and look at what I'm doing again, what's personal, me saving my mother's estate that I know that she works for and left to her children for our generational wealth. I can't afford to look at the Democratic Party being an impossibility thing to take on. It ain't going to never change. It's a different guy. I can't afford to look at it that way because if so, I'm defeated. I have to look at another situation. I have to look at some other solution. And for me, the solution was to try to get help on the federal level. Trump happened to be the Republican candidate. I understand that I can vote either way. And if on the local level, I'm not getting any results for something that I need help in my life with, yeah, I'm trying something on the federal level. And that's what brought about my purpose in Chicago Flips Red.
Yeah.
It needed to be something
Oh,
different. It needed to be something different on the local level. But look at this situation. It's being so big that it's nothing you can do about it. Look, especially from being down there and you see what's going on. You actually do see the people that's making these deals, the mentality of them, how they move. And it's like, that's who's running this city. That's who's got my property tax bill this big. These people is the reason why I got to pay almost $2,000 more. These people, I can't afford to look at that as, well, it ain't nothing I can do. It's a well-oiled machine. No, I can afford to look at it as I pay my property, I pay my taxes. I can vote either way that I want to. And if the local Democratic Party is not helping me, I can go to the federal level. And in this case, the federal level president is Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to use him as much as I can and the Republican Party as much as I can to get me some help. Jamal is right. The Republican Party here is weak. And they have probably been weak a long time and have gotten to this government with the Democratic Party. That's for sure. But that has nothing to do with what we're doing. It has nothing to do with the direction we're going because whatever they were or were not, people start seeing us. And we're moving the way that we're moving. And you can get on board with it or you don't have to. But we all have personal situations that we have to see come to a resolve. And if going to the Republicans can bring this to a resolution, then so be it. And we're hoping that other black people in the city get on board because the Democratic Party is trash. and they're not too big to take on. All it takes is for us to do what we need to do. We've been in this country. We've been fighting in this country. We can't afford to be have a defeated mentality in this country because we don't have anywhere else to go. We have to win in this country. In this country. Get it through your thick heads. We got to win in this country.
Right.
Now I'm hanging up. Go ahead. It's a good show.
Thank you,
But that
Jessica.
ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. I agree. Like I didn't come like I independently aligned myself with the Republican Party because the Democratic Party, again, I go on customer service. It wasn't about black or white racism, prejudice. Now, I mean, it was because the Democratic Party ignored me from all summer 2023, outside protesting from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Monday through Friday to going inside for 40 days ignoring me as well. I'm like, ain't no way, nobody's gonna keep dealing with this. So you have to I'm an entrepreneur. I make my own rules. I make my own policies. I do this. And again, I sued Delta Airlines that same year and won off of their policies that they did not have. So my thing is you have to go in here and revamp it all. And if you can't revamp, if you don't feel like you can revamp it, then cool. Like Miss Jessica always say, the first time we ever got on the phone, she told me everybody got to get to four. Martin got to his four. Malcolm X got to his four. Dick Gregory got to his four. Everybody got to get to their four. And I'm getting to my four with Miss Jessica and Danielle and anybody else that follows our movement. And that's that what Jamal's getting to his four. However he sees fit. Michael Young Bay, he's getting to his four. However he sees fit. But I do not have a defeated mentality. I feel like the system is broken. I feel like we have a chance. I know that we have a chance. I know that I have world people are watching all over the world. Chicago. They're watching this city. So this city is a very, very important city. This city is culture. This city is one of the most beautiful cities. And this man is trying to destroy it. And if anybody doesn't see that part, then you don't love this city. And
Right.
I have nothing to talk to you about because you don't love this city. And until if it's going to be a revolution, then let's go. But until then, us arguing with each other about which
Yeah.
party do this and which party do that, ain't nobody gonna do nothing unless we do it for ourselves.
Mm.
I don't understand why we have to always find a way. This is what they've done successfully, Crown Chaser, is they have successfully made it to where we will always find a way to be against each other. That is the number one reason why black folks, I'm telling you, the number one reason why black folks are where we are is because they have successful. This is the most successful thing that they've done to us in history is make us find a way on how we cannot work with each other. Make us find a way on why we hate each other. Make us find a way on how we criticize each other or question each other. Who get people come to me and they say, they Zoe. I'm like, no, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Zoe was just with me and with my birthday, and we was taking shots together. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't. She No, no. First of all, that type of energy don't even make sense. I don't if you Republican, I don't care if you Democrat, I don't care if you independent, I don't care what you is, who you are. The agenda is the same. The agenda is the fact that we are all suffering. And all of us may have a pathway, a different pathway on how to get to the destination. But we all on this journey together. And guess what? If Zoe achieves what she's trying to achieve, y'all will be the first ones on the bandwagon saying, oh, we will support you. Please understand, everybody has their own pathway.
I'm sure she don't. The Chicago Flip Rib don't agree with some of my pathway, some of the pathway. I don't agree with some of their path. We don't. It don't matter, but we don't have to publicly say it. We don't have to publicly show division. We can say, what do we do agree on? And that's what we all should be working together on. That is our biggest problem, is that we cannot find a way to work together. That's why it can be a revolution at times, because one person to step out there and say, hey, let's set it up. And the rest of them be like, nah, I'm good. I'm going back to work. We got to understand that we got a mission, and it's going to take all of us to.
Exactly, and
Okay.
that's what I'm
Okay.
saying too.
All right. Let me
And that, let me say this real quick,
because I got two more callers,
please
brother.
let me say this.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna take long.
Please.
Hey,
All
I
right.
want to respond to something because ain't nobody feel defeated. I'm not defeated. I'm still fighting for to keep housing, et cetera, and things like that. I'm not defeated. Ain't nobody feel they defeated. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting out facts. I'm just putting out a sense of what we need to know, what we actually is up against. We got to actually realize what we is fighting for. Okay, you can go ahead, man.
Okay. All right. Thank you, brother. Let me go to the next caller. Come on, Sarge. Thank you for holding. Sarge been waiting about 30 minutes or more. Come on, 912.
And it's all good. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is wishful thinking, hopes and dreams of a better tomorrow. That's basically it. I mean, as a Chicago, because like I said, I was up there, as I told you, I had to come home for a funeral. I hadn't been there in I don't know how many years, but there was a party going on. It was on 24th in Michigan. I went down there. I was dead and lost, getting turned around, where to which way. I looked at all that money that they put in over there, what used to be the Ickies over there in the area, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know I was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So they had money for that, but they ain't got no money for the rest of it, because that ain't the plan no way. All that prime real estate and this and that and that and this, just waited out over time. And you know who you ain't gonna have in Chicago no more? Black folk. And I land my plane.
All right. Thank you. Let's go to the next caller. 6847. 6847.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to unmute my phone.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
yeah,
sir.
I'm loving.
Oh, this brother Glenn. Hey.
I'm loving this conversation. Hey, what's happening? Hey, I'm loving this conversation tonight because, yeah, we do need to be on the same page. We need to have sort of like a third rail as Black folks, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. The third rail is the hood card, the hood pass, or something like that. And we can get all of the Black candidates to agree to that. That would put us on the same page, because the divided people are easy to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we ought to also take a look at what happened to the east of us in New York with Zohan Mandani. And I'd like to hear what J. Maul's thoughts were about Mandani, because this dude wasn't embraced by the Democratic Party. He wasn't embraced by the Republican Party. Trump was against him until after he got elected. And I think after he got elected, that sort of adds the fuel to the fire as why the Republicans nationally are concerned about in terms of people being dissatisfied with what's going on. But there should be some lessons learned from Madani in New York, and maybe this will encourage people to say, hey, look, we do need to come together, because the only thing we do together as Black folks is electric slide. Can I get an amen from everybody on the line behind that? The only thing we do together. Only thing we do together is electric slide, y'all. And we need to just be together on something, the hood pass, some sort of the third rail that's going to ground all of us. Because you're right, we all going to live together, we're going to die together. And here's the last little point I'm going to say, I'm going to get out the way. But do you realize in Chicago, every community is a hand-me-down from somebody else? We've not built no communities nowhere in this city. You know, I mean, so maybe that ought to bring meaning to the book of Exodus in the Bible. Love all y'all. Let's keep this spirit going, because if we can talk together, we can work together. And we do need to work together.
All right. That's the legendary Glenn.
Yeah, I do agree with him.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to respond to his question about the Zoran Mamdani. Let me say this. What I've learned is that we all black people, we have to stop and we got to start learning what we need to learn. That Mamdani, you get I don't care what side of the aisle, we ain't in New York. Let me tell you something. We got to learn what he did, because he was totally fighting the party, and he was able to create huge marketing that was able to basically overthrow the party as the number one, the largest city in the country. And essentially, that is the movement that must happen in Chicago with a lot of these positions, is that we're going to have to put in are linked to us, who have an agenda for us, and we as a people unify to put them in place so that we can change the system. Every position in the state on down, please understand that they control the attorney general, so that the attorney general and the state's attorneys and all these different people don't investigate them while they're in office, so that they fund those people investigated. They have some judges appointed when uh it's like they really create them to work how they want it to work, for corruption to go how it's supposed to go, and then for them to be protected in this system. That's why Mike Madigan went 51 years. That's why Ed Burke went 51 years. Understand it. So the point is that we have to interrupt the system and support people who have an independent that is for the people, not people who are backed by a known interest agenda. Brandon Johnson was backed this agenda, but
Mm-hmm.
they used teachers as a facade to fool people. So my answer to your question, Glenn, is we need to take from what he did and we need to implicate it in the city of Chicago. Because if that type of mandate will be able to shake the whole system up.
All right. Zoe, you close
Yep.
us out. Glenn, did you want to say anything else?
Wait a minute, Mark.
Go okay, old timer. Go ahead, old timer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, now the brother that spoke right before, who you call a legend, okay? But again, you know, we keep knowing that this country, had they righted the wrongs a long time ago, we would never be in this position. But seeing that's the way that it is. This is going to be a continual uphill fight. The Republicans, sad to say, and when I say sad to say it, you know, I'm not a Republican, so they just don't have the room, and they don't need to make room for us. We have to understand this. Now, again, I've been telling you all the time, Mark, and there's other people on this line, the only path for blacks in the Republican Party is to speak against other blacks. That's the only way that you can gain any type of foothold. You can. They got all they need already. You don't hear white people asking the Republicans, "What you gonna do for us if we vote for you?" But you hear black people saying, "Well, if we vote for you, what are we gonna get out of it?" You didn't hear the Muslims over there in New York asking Mamdani, "Well, what you gonna do for us if we vote for you?" But you hear black people saying, "What you gonna do if we put you in office? What you gonna do for us?" See, these people got us pegged. They know every move that we're gonna make, and so what we just have to do, we just have to live. Now we have to live, and we have to know what's out there. We have to know all of the amendments. You got to know the Bill of Rights, and we just gonna have to fight this thing to the end. Now, if you want to be a Republican and waste your time, then brother, Be my guest. You go right ahead and be a Republican. Because the only thing they're gonna hear from you is you speaking against black people. You're gonna have to go to them with a hook, line, and sinker story, and they say, yeah, that's the kind of talk people want to hear. Say, I've been voting Democrat all my life, and we ain't got nothing to show for it. You say, okay, come on, now stand over here to the side. We don't need to hear nothing else from you now. Okay, now then here I come. Yeah, I've been voting. They talking about the Republican Party is racist. I don't see that nowhere. Okay, Reggie, you come on over here. Now we don't need to hear nothing else from you. Don't say nothing else now because you're gonna be talk too much. As long as you saying stuff like that, you can be a good old boy Republican. You can be a good old boy Republican.
Mr. Old Timer.
You see, but when the Democrats, Martin, look, this is the truth, brother. Truth before God. Now, when the Democrats Party understand, the people on this line understand that there is no room except for the fight. Look over there in London. When Trump, they marching in London right now. They ain't standing on the side just looking. They marching through the streets, thousands and thousands and thousands strong. That's the only way we gonna get it. These people ain't giving us nothing. They ain't playing around with us. Huh?
Go ahead, Glenn.
The government the government in Europe fears the people because the people run it, not the government. And over here, it's just the opposite. People fear the government.
No, it's the opposite for blacks. Because when the white people go in to go down to Springfield, the white people gonna take 20 buses down there, and they ain't leaving until they get what they want. Black people going down there for one day, and Lord knows if it starts raining, most of us gonna stay on the bus.
But J. Maul said it properly earlier. J. Maul said it properly earlier. Only 29% of our people got up and voted. You think they're scared of 29%?
Well, shame on us. Shame on us. But we want to sit on the side and we want to complain. We want to talk. And we want to talk to the Republicans and say, okay, give them a new school. That's all they need. All they need is a little school and whatnot. Man, we going on with new health care for our people. Them people ain't got no black people in mind when they passing these bills. These people ain't got no black people in mind when they giving Russia $67 million and giving them weapons. They ain't giving that to no black countries and different things. The man talking about against black countries. He talking about Haiti last time he was in there, call it a blank hole. Then he come here talking about the Somalis. But then he bring the South Africans here, low by plane. And the man get on TV and say, we need people from Norway, we need people from Denmark, we need people from New Zealand. We need people like that to come into the United States. And you're going to sit up there, and boy, I'm surprised somebody voted for Trump. I'm really surprised at that. But man, I tell you, black people better wake up, brother. We better really wake up.
Folks said,
turning Democrat.
Okay.
I'm turning Democrat.
Okay, let me just say this, people. Let's hold it before we get this thing out. I want to say to Old Timer, what is wrong with asking something for our vote? I mean, it's almost like a prostitute laying down with somebody, exchanging sex, and she don't get her money up front. We got to have a agenda. I mean, we vote for
but Crime Chaser, what needs to happen is that we need to already have an agenda that we demand for our vote.
That's true, right there.
That's the issue. Is that if we're not unified around an agenda, then we can't be asking politicians what they gonna do, because you already know what these politicians are going to do. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna get in line with the system that's in place. But if we have our own agenda, at the end of the day, we can force politicians to commit to things. But the reality is forget forcing politicians. We need to be breeding our own politicians that actually come from within this movement of unity. We need more people who are in this group that is come from us, that live like us, that is from this agenda, to be in positions of power so that they can carry the mantle. The problem is that we sit back and we're not unified around candidates who are actually of us, and that's our truest issue. That is us do build our own candidates with the SNCCs and the organizations who is organized to build new politicians and teach them politics and say, All right, you got to go to school to
Amen.
be a lawyer. Okay, this group politics.
How
Hey, we're
soon?
gonna teach this group economics. Like we need to get real back to real organizing so that we can strengthen our communities and put people in place so that we can take over this system. Right now, hey, we our whole our whole community is in a disarray because we nowhere near the goal.
Thank you. We're gonna
Brother,
take
we
this.
still use the N word.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Still use the N word.
Okay,
Still use
okay,
the N word,
okay.
man.
All right, let's take this the last caller. Last caller, and Zoe, you're gonna close it out. All right, 6387. Come on, you're my last caller. 6387.
Hi, greetings, crime chaser. This is Charmaine again.
Hey,
I
Sherman.
wanted to say something real quick because I think we really need to understand agendas. And I hear people up here, screaming the name for the Democratic Party. The only agenda we need to have, like Jamal said, is for Black people. And that's really where Zoe sits as well. We need to have our own agenda that meets our needs. We are voting and asking for no tangibles. But I want to say this. I have a lot of clients from higher up. My clients are Democrats, Republicans, liberals, far right, far left. Like I said, I don't follow the blue and the red, I follow the gray. And I listen. I have a client who is very high up in the Democratic Party, young girl, sweet thing, very sweet. And when she told me in November of 2023, let me tell you what she told me. She said, Charmaine, you want to know why they volunteer? She's high up. She had just come from D.C. This was in November 2023 because I marked the date in my head. She said they brought him here, Charmaine. They brought him here for votes. I want people to think about 60,000 illegal immigrants coming to the city of Chicago. You think that was for altruistic reasons? How can that be for altruistic reasons and for humanity when we got a problem going on right in this city that's inhumane, that's happening to Black people and happening to Black children? You want to look at humanity, look at the humans that are already here. But we don't have no humanity unless we looking at the problems with the Venezuelans. And she told me to my face right there that they're bringing them here for votes. 60,000 illegal immigrants in Black communities. So let's just do the numbers here. There's about 3,500 per ward in the Black communities, right? So what happens? They get 40,000. They get 4,000 apiece, right? 4,000 to 6,000 apiece. So in 20 years, or in the next couple of years, when they give them the right to vote, who you think gonna be in those seats? Nobody that looks like you. We have got to wake up. There is an agenda going on. So stop fighting for the party and fight for your people. Look at your children. Look at our children.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, there's an African proverb. I stand by this. I stand by this. When you want to understand what's going on with the village, you look at the children in the village. And if the children are sick, the village is sick. And if you don't take care of the children in the village, they will burn it down to feel its warmth. And we need to be very clear that that is what is happening today. Vote people. Vote for your people, not for no party. Have a good night. Wonderful show.
Okay, J Mal, real quick. Somebody sent the question. Hold on, Zoe. Jessica want to ask. She said, "Ask J Mal." Let me see. Hold on, J Mal. I have a question for you. All right. Where's that question? Ask J Mal, why can't we push the platinum plan for the Black Americans that Trump put up in place?
Well, I think that we can take elements from the platinum plan for sure. I mean, I'm sure it came from Black people who advised them. The thing is that in my view, we need to create a pro-Black plan that does not have any labels on it at all, that everybody can unify around. No matter if you're Republican, no matter if you're Democrat, no matter where you stand, and no matter who you support. But no matter who you support and what you're doing, this is the one agenda that we all support so that we can make things better for our communities. And so if there are elements of all plans, I think we need to take elements of all plans and create that. It's just the issue is that we can't work together, and we all want to find a reason on how we're going to why we are to talk about each other. Everyone here does good, whether it is Zoe going down to city council and exposing what's going on, Crime Chaser doing this podcast, and agree with him sometime, and y'all know I was calling him out about what he did, and he don't agree with me sometime. And at the end of the day, everybody still can be on the same page with the agenda. We don't have to go against publicly all of the people who are truly in this fight. That's what we need to do, Crime Chase. And then we need to get the small business owners and say, all right, can we create a fund as a small business owner, can create a fund where we donate to this fund or we donate to this PAC, and this PAC is going to support this agenda. That's what everybody does. Everybody has a PAC for their agenda, and that PAC gives donation mayor to the state reps to the state. That's how politics is played. So we got to play the politics by creating a PAC that has the money that we raise, that and we all come together and we create, we trust, that say, all right, we're gonna support this person. Let's put money behind this person. We're gonna support this alderman. We're gonna support this bill. Let's lobby against the corporate head tax, or let's lobby against the garbage fee, whatever the agenda is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no matter where you stand on the aisle, we can all work together to get to the common goal. But we gotta stop fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Zoe, I wanted to say a couple of things just before you come and close us out. Um, Brother Glenn said, let's do an agenda show. You know, we all come together and let's get an agenda together, blue and red or independent or green. We should do a show
I
like
love it.
that would be a great idea. A great idea. Okay, Zoe, I'm tired, man. I see you got to rub your head. I'm tired. So come on, close us out. Give us your final words. J Ball, thank you so much. Just go ahead, Zoe.
You know, well, thank you for the platform, and thank you for letting me speak. And I have always done my own thing, and I've always been super successful with it. And I'm going to continue to build Chicago Flips Red. I know my mission. I know what Chicago Flips Red will be and the blueprint for all other blue cities. And I also want to, I built my platform, I built my Freedmen agenda. I have worked with Mama Dora. She has a beautiful contract that needs to be pushed right now. And that is something that honestly Chicago needs to look at. She went to a couple of aldermen. She reached out to when Paul Vallis was running and Brandon Johnson to show them, her and Sister Erica, the contract. And I don't think neither one of them took that contract. So I think this time, and I know the position that I am in and my group is in, that we have demands. And like I said, I'm anti-Democrat. There's no saving that party. But the Republicans, these are our demands. These are Chicago Foot Red demands, and they are pro us. Because at the end of the day, it goes back to me being who I am, which is pro-black, and also a business owner, also a person who is a humanitarian, also a person who sees the issues that we have in our community. And it's time for new people to step up. You know, there are going to be people that are going to die on the Democratic Hill, and God bless you. You understand? I hope that you are happy that you died on that hill. However, I feel like in order to get anything, because there's nothing else left. The Democrat Party has nothing. They even right now, like people get mad that Trump is not sending no money. No, he don't need to send no money because the money's never going to go to us anyway. So until we get a forensic audit, but I feel like we have to do for ourselves, and we can. We have our mindsets are too strong. Like I said on the Breakfast Club, we are the culture. We are we are the Bank of America. We are everything. We are America. Like we built this country. Like I don't it's not about red or blue. It's about independence. It's about do you love yourself? Do you love others? And understand that you have to get into this government. This is our government. People say, this they just always the same, but we got to continue to fight harder. We got to continue to do this. Well, you know what? So far, so far, it's been working for me. So I'm gonna continue to go on my little lane in my lane, Chicago Fist Red Lane, and we're down to work with anybody that's down to work with us and understand how we're moving and our agenda. And that's just what it is. But we have a platform. I built our platform. And then, like I said, me and Miss Mama Doris have worked on Chicago. I mean, on the contract. And honestly, if nobody doesn't look at Mama Dora's contract because it's definitely the blueprint and it's bipartisan, then at the end of the day, we're never going to get anywhere.
All right, people, that's
Shout out
it.
to Prime
Jim,
Chaser for the platform, man. We
thank you,
I'm
thank you.
proud of you. I'm proud of you for coming back to reality on this, and let's do an agenda show.
Oh yeah, we looking for. We're gonna put it together. I definitely include you in it, and Zoe and all of us, Mama Doris and Jessica. All right, people, you already know what it is. This is live. I just want to thank everyone. This is like a last minute show. We put it together. It worked out lovely. We got two young people on this platform. I'm the oldest one. I feel like an old senior citizen, but I am that.
Oh, and I also
And
want to let you know the platinum plan is what Q brought, and he
okay,
had $500 billion on there. So,
He did. He did. You're right. You're
people
right. There
ran
was.
him out and stuff like that. So, I mean, Trump did meet with him. Biden and them said they would meet with him if they won. They won, still didn't meet with him. So we have options. It's just, are we going to look at the options? Or are we going to be upset because they went to Trump?
Yeah, I
all
think that's
right.
a good. We should look at a few different plans on that agenda show. These are things that we can pull from Mama Dora's letter. You get what I'm saying? Like contract. There are different things
Right.
that we all should look at. The so appreciate you, Crown Chaser.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. I dare any politician out there to say I'd love being black in front of a room full of white folks. They won't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it to say they so. I'm telling you, you all that pro-black. Oh, yeah, I ain't gonna get no votes. I ain't gonna get no votes. Listen, one thing about I can say about white people, and I'm speaking well, they only respect uh, warriors. They don't respect no pack.
Where are the reparations from the Democrats, Trey?
Okay.
Y'all always talking about reparations for the Republicans. Where are the reparations for the Democrats? Y'all done been voting this long, and they have literally just gave the migrant package, aka reparations, to a bunch of illegals. Where was that question, Trey? Where was that? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Woo! Wow. All right. That's it, y'all. Thank you. I got to get up and go to work in the morning, y'all. They
Peace.
got me on the plantation. Peace out.